2025 cannot be what it was in 2008. First one is about fake social media account. In 2022, a university student from Kathmandu reported a fake Facebook and TikTok profile. And this profile had been created using her real name and images. And the account was used to send derogatory and misleading messages, bullying people, harassing people, so on, right? Other students of the same university, and as well as faculty members. So this was obviously causing harm to her reputation. Imagine if somebody makes a fake profile of you and your most strict professor or teacher gets like messages from your name saying you suck bro or whatever. Like they're just gonna be like, that's on you, right? And you can't prove otherwise. So then after this happened, the applicable statute in the Electronic Transactions Act for your guys, the ETA, is section 47. And the Nepali police and the Cyber Bureau identified and arrested the individual that was operating the fake profile. And the court allowed for custodial investigation under ETA, under this law, which basically means that you guys can prove unauthorized use of identity and electronic communication to defame or harass. This is a right that you guys have. I'm going to repeat it. If you feel like something is harming this right of yours, now today onwards you know that you have the right that unauthorized use of your identity and electronic communication to defame you or harass somebody through your name, that is something that is not legally accepted, right? So the next case was a revenge porn case from Pakistan, where a woman filed a complaint against her ex-fiancé, who had, after their breakup, leaked private videos and photos to her family WhatsApp groups with an intent to shame and defame her. Obviously, that's super messed up, right? And this is something that is, I don't think this is a one-off thing. I think there's a lot of malicious people that hate very strongly and are willing to reach really horrible extents to defame somebody like that. The content had been shared without consent, obviously. Now, for PICA, we have Statute 21 and 24, which is cyber stalking, offenses against modesty of a natural person and minor. And lastly, the most important one, we have right to dignity and privacy of home. If for anything we can prove that this is against our right to dignity, our privacy of home, a lot of our women rights come from this. So there's a lot of misconception as well about how many rights Pakistani women have, right? I don't know if you guys know about the stereotypes about how my country is, but it's not all good stuff. And it's not all entirely good either. Some people, most people living in poverty, truly have no rights. But then the things that they're being affected from are much deeper than digital crimes, right? So then the last case was the banking fraud in Kathmandu, where many users of digital wallets, I don't know if you guys use digital wallets, we have EasyPesa or stuff like Jazz Cash in our country. I don't know if you guys have similar stuff. But the mobile banking apps in Kathmandu reported unauthorized transactions from their accounts, and the victims were tricked into, so we talked about phishing, the victims were tricked into sharing one-time passwords. And then the Nepali Cyber Bureau traced this, so anything that you guys do in your cyberspace, there is tracking. There is an absolute tracking from the Nepali Police Cyber Bureau. This is a specific agency in your country that has all the messages, all the interactions, every single thing that has been sent from that specific laptop, from that specific mobile device, can be proved and traced. Not everybody knows this. Once you delete something on WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram, it's not actually gone, right?